going to give you a demonstration of the WisdomAI agentic analytics platform. And I will be playing the role of a San Diego-based big box retailer manager. And I'm starting my day as I always do here in Slack. Now, what's great about the WisdomAI agentic platform is that it autonomously delivers prescriptive insights to all of my work surfaces, including Slack, email, and Teams. So as I do every day, I'm starting my day with Wisdom telling me information about my retail sales. In this case, Wisdom is telling me about major sales spikes that occurred around the end of November, with key findings including sales spike detection, spike breakdown, and calendar and promotion effects as drivers. Now, because Wisdom is agentic, it not only shows me what happened, but also gives me an action plan and recommendations as to how to improve my sales at large. This is a distinct difference from other analytic solutions who only tell me what happened, but not what to do next. Investigating further, I can see a clear spike in sales, again, around that period, November 2025. From here, I could export this data. I could also change the chart types or show the underlying data. And I can even ask in Slack how I can continue investigating this particular spike. This is great information, but I actually want to perform a bit of investigation on my own. Landing on Wisdom itself, I met with a dashboard that contains rich details, such as my main metrics and KPIs, a detailed store breakdown, as well as stunningly visual charts and visualizations. In this case, I can see here that particular spike, which is worth an investigation. Now with Wisdom, the dashboard with its visuals and charts are not the end of analysis, but rather they are the jumping off point. So to start, I can ask Wisdom a very exploratory question. Tell me about the large spikes in daily sales that I'm seeing. In natural language, I'm able to dictate my question, and Wisdom is going to take that question, is going to infer its true intentions, is going to identify any relevant context or knowledge that it has related to this question, as well as any previous examples it might have to work with. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Wisdom is also going to tell me a step-by-step plan, showing me in plain natural language how we got to the result. And I want to point this out because I asked Wisdom about a large spike in daily sales. And you can see the first step in this plan for Wisdom is to define what constitutes a large spike in daily sales. So Wisdom seeks to understand, to reason with my problem, and to break it down, and ultimately explain its full logic transparently to me. Of course, Wisdom also is going to show me the exact code that it's running, so I can be completely sure that this is a reliable and trustworthy answer. As an agentic platform, Wisdom is also going to recommend follow-up questions. So my first question that was answered successfully is not the end of the road, but really just the beginning and the jumping off point for further analysis. I would love to know why these specific days had such unusually high sales, and Wisdom is more than happy to recommend and then tell me why. Once again, highlighting the explainability, no matter what question, how complex or simple, Wisdom is going to take care of this for me, and in full transparency, showing me exactly how it's going to come to the result. Now here, I'm noticing a fair amount of promotions towards the end of November, and Wisdom is also happy to generate a natural language summary. So while tables, charts, and graphs are great, the natural language is really where the root of my answer is. So Wisdom's going to explain that there was extensive promotion activity and tell me in detail what these individual promotions are and how they contributed to this significant sales. Wisdom also is excellent in identifying patterns, making sense of this large set of data, and bringing me those results, again, in plain, natural language. How do we capitalize on this momentum that we saw in November, and how do we get better sales in the future? So I'm going to ask Wisdom, based on all of your findings, please recommend your best next steps and course of action to continue improving my sales. And this distinction between Wisdom's agentic analytics platform and other typical business intelligence or analytics tools are that Wisdom is not just telling me what happened or why it happened, but even what to do next and the best recommended course of action. So Wisdom is not just a solution for finding insights, but also a solution that can help me make decisions. And in this case, just to speak to some of the points here, we want to double down on effective promotions, analyze the customer and channel responses, prevent margin erosion, capitalize on big ticket sales, and continuously experiment, visualize, and monitor our results to ensure that performance continues to improve. Now, I know Wisdom is happy to recommend some additional next steps and keep going with my analysis. At this point, I'm happy to bring other human collaborators into the mix because I'd like them to benefit from this work, and I'd like all of us to be on the same page. Now, with Wisdom, collaboration and sharing can be done in a variety of ways depending on the audience. For example, I can share my insights with other users, even with everyone in my organization, so we can all make better data-driven decisions. We can subscribe to these insights either via email, Slack, webhooks, or our other work surfaces, again, like we showed earlier in the demo. And for my stakeholders, I can also create a rich presentation that is going to really impress and ultimately get the point across, get the insights in a really consumable format. And just to show you what the final output looks like, here's now a beautiful retail sales presentation that I can bring to my executives. And so I can tell them how we can recreate that record-breaking Q4 performance. Thank you for watching this short demonstration of the WisdomAI Agentic Analytics Platform.